Inductance, denoted L, is the tendency of a conductor to oppose a change in electrical current. And it depends on the physical properties of the conductor. Now, a typical prototype of an inductor is a solenoid, and an inductor opposes the EMF of a power source, such as a battery, by opposing changes in current. So if we suppose a current goes through this solenoid, and we use a conventional current, then as the current passes through the solenoid, a magnetic field is produced. And we don't consider the magnetic field outside the core of the solenoid because it's a lot weaker. So the magnetic flux that passes through a single loop is the magnetic field, which is the magnetic permeability of the core, by the number of turns per unit length, by the current, by the area of the core. Now, if the current going through the solenoid is not steady, then the magnetic flux is going to change with time. So we have d phi b dt being equal to the magnetic permeability of the core by N by A by the change in current with respect to time. And by Faraday's law of induction, changes in magnetic flux induces an EMF that opposes the change that produced it. So the magnetic flux through one loop of the solenoid is d phi b dt, and we multiply this by the number of turns to get the total magnetic flux through the solenoid. So if we substitute for the derivative, we get minus N by mu C by N by A by the rate of change of current with respect to time. And N is the number of turns per unit length of the solenoid. So therefore we can rewrite this as N squared on L. And this quantity is the inductance of the solenoid, which depends on its magnetic properties and geometry. So if we keep the number of turns and the cross-sectional area constant and increase the length of the solenoid, so as L gets large, the solenoid becomes a straight wire, and therefore straight wires are modeled as having zero inductance. So they have little opposition to changes in electrical current. So in general, we can write Faraday's law applied to an inductor as minus the inductance by the change in current. So that takes on a similar form to this equation that we derived, where in the brackets we have the inductance of a solenoid. Recall that we derived the power dissipated by a circuit element as the current through the circuit element by the voltage drop across it. And electric power is the change in electric potential energy with respect to time. And we'll call this UL for an inductor. And recall by Faraday's law that the opposing EMF to a change in current through the inductor is minus the inductance by the change in current. And this opposing EMF is equal to the voltage drop across the inductor. So we have I by minus L by di dt. And therefore, using both sides of this equation and eliminating dt, we get dul is minus il di. And then if we integrate both sides of this equation, we have an initial current going through this inductor, which eventually drops to 0. So remember that the inductor produces an opposing EMF against a change of magnetic flux. So what we get is UL is minus L, so the inductance is constant, and we took it out of the integral, and evaluating the integral gives I squared on 2. So this is evaluated at a current of I and 0. So we get minus L by 0 minus I squared on 2. And therefore the energy stored in the magnetic field that's generated by the current in the inductor is UL is 1/2 Li squared. So the energy stored in the magnetic field generated by an inductor in which current is flowing can be dissipated through a resistor. So for example, if we add a resistor to this circuit, or used to charge a capacitor. And the transfer of energy generated in an inductor to other forms of energy obeys the conservation laws. And we'll look at different circuits involving inductors.